All right. I appreciate Dave for stopping by our podcast. We're a new and upcoming podcast. It's called The Nerd Informer, and we usually just go over shows and movies. But lately, we've been getting into the conspiracies and going down the rabbit trails, you call it. And we came across actually Ian's the one that pointed out the flat Earth to me, and actually your podcast. And for the last week and a half, I've been pretty hooked on it and getting used to it.
Which podcast? Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole or the Flat Earth podcast?
The flat Earth, and I'm going on Spotify and I'm actually just searching it, and you're in podcast, and it's kind of using you as a tag, so I'll listen to all those podcasts as well.
Yeah, I listened to some of your shows, jumped around a little bit. In your last one, you guys are like, does this guy really believe the Earth is flat? That's funny, because I don't believe it's flat. I know it's flat.
All right.
And I was going to cancel on you 1 minute before the show just for fun and then not really cancel.
Oh, my God. I would love that.
Yeah. But I got busy. So, it's only so much time for practical jokes. And then, you guys are going to learn some stuff. I don't know what else to say. Here's the thing. You know my offer. You said I offer 1 Bitcoin. It's up to 3 Bitcoins. 3 Bitcoins for one proof of the globe. Nobody's claimed it yet. No one. A couple of people have tried lamely, but they didn't do any research, and it was just nonsensical. I'm offering 100 Bitcoins for
holy shit.
Anything dumber than the globe model, heliocentric model. Anything. Any category, doesn't matter. It could be a retarded guy shitting in a street, and eating it. That's not dumber than the globe model. I'm sorry.
So have you ever had offering that up? You've never had let's just say Neil deGrasse Tyson, or you got that other YouTuber, Professor Dave, I think.
Not Professor Dave and Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor. They will not talk to us because they know they can't. Neil deGrasse Tyson has gone out and said, we don't have time to talk to flat earthers. There's more important things to do. We'll never talk to flat earthers because they can't, because we'll destroy them. Somebody that's less versed than I am can destroy their BS model.
Mm-hmm.
So they will not talk to us, but they will spend day after day, show after show, video after video, gaslighting us, making fake comments about us, misrepresenting us, and moving the globe posts constantly. Every time we show them something, they move the globe post farther away. Okay. They it's the dumbest thing ever, and their attempts are lame. Let's start off with Jeff Bezos and what's his face?
That's one of the things
Richard Branson.
That was the first thing I had on my list.
They shot a giant dick up into space. Did you notice that?
and the rocket that we thought
the rocket also looked like a dick.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. And the first thing I watched in the live video, I'm like, man, that looks like a dick.
Great joke. That was a freaking great joke.
There was a meme going around with the Austin Powers with the dick, and it was hilarious. So, it looked exactly like it.
So once you learn about how these elite, whatever you want to call them, how they love their sexual innuendos. I mean, they built that rocket to look like a dick, and when they make it take off, this is the official video. Okay,
right.
Yep. What's it doing? Okay,
right, shifting up and down.
This is what they showed us. And there's no side to side. This is what they showed us. What the hell's going on there? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they couldn't get it any more clear.
And you guys,
up and down.
Which one of you said, hey, where's the video of them floating for 4 minutes? They probably didn't release it yet. Who said that?
That was me, Tyler.
Yeah. Tyler, you lost 5 points on that one. That we say when you watch any NASA SpaceX launch, before the thing basically clears the tower, there's 7 different cuts, angle, different angle. It's all. I'm like, show me one of those uncut. Show me one uncut. And the Glober's argument is, well, we don't have to do that for you. If we sent you the uncut one, then you'd want it cut. They don't have to release that. I'm like, we fund them $65 million a day.
Yeah.
But they won't show it because it's not. They didn't go into space. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor, moved the globe post again. He was just on some morning news show saying that they didn't go into space. They just went up high enough to get 0G to have like a parabolic flight.
Yeah.
That's all they did. Bezos wasn't even on that rocket. That rocket was pure CGI. They dropped a the pod out of an airplane. I don't even think he was on that. You see how hard that thing hit the ground? I don't know if you
Dude,
guys watched
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I did. I thought it was supposed to only hit at like a mile per hour, or it was 16 miles per hour, right?
He wasn't in there. It's nonsense. The whole thing was just a horrible staged, edited media event. But if they were floating around for 4.5 minutes, why don't we see that anything longer than 5 seconds? We don't see anything longer than 5 seconds with him floating. And this is just 0G footage, and it was all done. They decked out a 0G plane to look like his special plane. And
well, I'm guessing with with the money that they're collecting all year, they can actually have the money to fund to do something like that, to trick people pretty much.
Well, they don't even need that much money.
No.
They need maybe a couple 100,000, not even. You can go up on a 0G plane for $5,000, and you get I think you get like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. You get a whole bunch of ups and downs. So and they always have the girl with the long hair flipping her hair around. They always show the reflection of the Earth. Just like they did with the stupid Tesla car. Anyone that believes anything, with NASA or any of the other fake space agencies just isn't paying attention. You've traded in your common sense for complete and total nonsense. And just to hold on to your childhood belief in space and Star Wars and Star Trek and all that nonsense. Yeah. It's all mind programming.
But you're right. I've noticed that they do show the females a lot with their hair just spread out like stiff.
So look at the military. If you got in the military, what's the first thing they would do to you?
Shave your head.
Shave your head. But they let women on the space station with long hair. How much hair are those people inhaling and choking on, floating around the space station? It must be disgusting up there. Okay, right. And then we did on the space station a couple of years ago. They was the Super Bowl, and they were interviewing the astronauts. The ESPN was interviewing the astronauts live, and they had the two jerseys on. They had the jerseys of the winning teams on, and we checked, and we're like, when's the last supply ship that went up there? And it was like 18 weeks ago or longer. There was like over 40 or 50 teams that were still in the running.
So pretty much they already know who was going to win.
Well, no, that's conspiracy theorist right there. Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, a couple days later, NASA releases a video of the unboxing of all of the jerseys.
Oh, the jersey. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they did it on a 0G plane. They quickly staged the 0G plane. They got a box and they all went up there and they quickly, they're rushing because they only have like 35, 40 seconds to make all the shirts float in the air. And they did it. And then and they're like, oh, we just happened to release this now because you guys have exposed us once again.
It's crazy to think about.
One of the most interesting things to me is when you talk about the flight paths of planes and stuff.
Yeah,
that's really interesting to me when you look at it on a flat Earth map.
We'll go there in a second, but I heard you guys talking about, hanging from wires. These guys are flipping their hat around and they're always flipping their microphone around. Look, we're in space. They always have something. Some things are real. Some things are CGI. Like when they have a blow up ball or something, that's real. It's filled with helium. And then the other stuff is CGI. But then they have a guy float by in the background. He was way down the hallway. You could barely see him, but he floated by just for, hey, that looks pretty good. I zoomed in and you could see his harness and the wire.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they had either a glitch or they didn't think anyone was going to zoom in.
Yeah.
Right. And it's ridiculous. And now the script was this guy on the right flips his hat around a couple times and then he passes it to the guy in the green and the green guy puts it on the counter. But watch, he moves his hand. He thought he passed him the hat and he takes it and he puts it away and he missed it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to like the audio of that to see if that's like the motion?
Oh, yeah. So, well, I don't know who has the audio because the YouTube purge, we lost so much stuff, but NASA took it down right away, but he was freaking out. They were both stuttering. When they realized they screwed up, they just had to keep rolling. And you could tell how nervous it was. The guy's like swallowing. His eyes are going all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous.
It's funny that it looks like they are wearing harnesses.
You think?
It looked like in the back.
Yeah. Wait, these guys on the space station, they don't look like they're wearing harnesses, do they? Look at their friggin' what's going on in their pants.
The whole pants is like bunched up.
He's balancing himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And then whenever they flip around, they always pivot from their waist. If I went like this in space, I wouldn't pivot at my waist. I'd go tumbling and spiraling in all different directions.
It kind of did look like he was actually dropping his feet and sitting. You know what I mean? Getting caught by a harness or caught by the wire.
There's so many. There's so many.
And I've actually never seen these videos. I've only
and this guy, he had the helium beach ball and he was holding it. And you know how you ever make a balloon or a ball just neutrally buoyant with helium, just the right amount of helium, right? You ever did it as a kid? Yeah. It's hard to keep it that way. Well, he was holding it under his arm and he must have squeezed some of the helium out and he dropped it and it fell.
Oh man.
Okay. And then this guy tries to grab it and his harness stops him from reaching it. And this girl's like, no, don't go. Right.
Oh,
and they're always doing stuff that is just absolutely ridiculous.
It definitely looks like they have limited movement, all of them.
Absolutely. Where's another? There's another one which I always forget which one has it. It's the extended one, and it shows a lot of things. Where is it? Maybe it's this one. This is it's called the Argo system. NASA admits they have this, and it's what they train spacewalks on. But looking, what this guy's doing and look what this guy's doing, kind of looks the same to me.
Yeah,
pretty similar.
It's similar. How about exactly the same thing?
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous. And then they're doing pranks out there. They have a guy in a gorilla suit running around with all those wires running around. Do you think that would be allowed? Like, if you think you did that on a submarine, that you wouldn't be court-martialed? Right. Again, here's the ball. Here's this guy hanging from wires. You can see the harness.
Oh yeah, look at the back of his shirt. Yeah.
The back right. That's insane to think about.
It goes on and on and on, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. It's unbelievable how ridiculously stupid people are.
And it's true. It is true what you said, that they haven't gone live in such a long time now because of certain things like this.
Yeah. Right. Hey, they don't go live. And then you saw the one where they were on the zero-G plane being interviewed on the news, and then they came out of the parabolic arc a little too soon.
Yeah.
And on the news, they all crashed into the wall. Right. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I turned it sideways, and it was the end of a zero-G flight. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, watching that monkey go through there like that, dressed up like that. There's no way they would be allowed to do that.
Absolutely not. Right.
Anything they could destroy, by accident like that.
How about this? A CGI lemon. Right through his hand.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Right through his hand. And you know what their answer is? Cosmic rays.
No way.
That's their excuse. Well, the cosmic rays interfere with the disc, and it makes it look like it's going through his hand, but it's really not. I don't even think the hand is real. Their clothes aren't even real, because their clothes have to deal with the wires, and they're all CGI. I have a video. I believe it's featuring on the app, maybe even tomorrow. It's a wire fail. And you can see the guy's shirt, it's pulled out by the wire, and then he does something, and the shirt just goes magically, just zips right back. It goes right back to his body, like it had elastic in it, but it doesn't have elastic in it. So the shirts aren't even real.
And if you're going to be posting that on your app, is that going to be under the photos or under
it'll be on the featured video. So every day there's a featured video right on the bottom left-hand corner. I heard. The featured video every day is on the bottom left.
Okay.
And you just click the video and watch it. You click the thumbnail next day, and if you miss it, just hit the archive button, and it'll give you all the videos from that month, and then all the other months also.
Okay.
So anytime you miss one, you can just go and get it.
That's
How about
crazy.
this one?
It's like that.
Watch his head, transparent head.
Oh yeah.
Okay, not real. All nonsense.
So, David, what made you get into the flat Earth?
I went in kicking and screaming. I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, where we investigated the conspiracies that are going on all around the world, all the deceptions, the thing that happened in New York, the one in Connecticut, the one in Boston. And then people like, Dave, you have to look at flat Earth. And I was like, you're banned from our social media because you're too stupid to even watch my podcast. And then finally I was forced to look, and I went in with the purpose of debunking flat Earth and proving the globe. And that's how you become a flat earther. I kept it quiet for 6 months. I'm like, I can't talk about this because it'll discredit all of the other work I've done. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is the truth. Fuck it. And I went for it. And here I am 6 years later, talking to you guys and hundreds of other people.
What was like the main thing that caught you to become the flat earther? What was the thing that you saw like, okay, this is it. This is
Yeah. So
the
what I say
tipping
is
point.
don't believe anything that I say. Verify it yourself. Now let's put that to NASA. Don't believe
Yeah.
anything NASA says. Verify it yourself. Oops, you can't, because it's everything's in space, and you're not going to space. And they want you to think, well, a couple billionaires did, and the price will come down, and soon you'll be able to. Nonsense. Those guys are part of the high order of the priests of scientism, and so the things was a lot of the fake rocket launches, but the thing that got me in was seeing things too far. And I was like, okay, what is, by the way, while I'm talking, this is 40,000 pounds falling out of the sky, free falling. Does that look like it's free falling? Look at the smoke.
Look at the smoke.
It's barely moving. Okay. And then watch it land. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I said, okay, the curvature formula. And I looked up the globe curvature formula. At 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. And I said, let me just see what the anti-flat earth, globe trolls are saying. And I think it was Mick West's site, whatever his site is called. He said, well, no, because it's a ball and you're halfway down one side and the other person's halfway down the other side. So it's only half of that. That's ridiculous. It's retarded. And so it's only half of that. Not true, but I'll give it to him. 33 feet of curvature. Set up my camera a foot off the water, bought $1,000 camera tripod, super zoomed in on this buoy that's 11 miles away. And I was rounding down because 11 miles is even much more curvature than 66 feet. Not only could I see this 10-foot high buoy, I could see the surface of the water for I don't know how many dozens of miles beyond it. Okay. Where there would be hundreds of feet of curvature. So the question I have to you is, how many patches of flat water does it take to make a sphere?
Yeah. You're right.
Technically, you shouldn't be able to make a sphere with flat water.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Now you're thinking. Very good. Very good.
Like recently I saw, like, after you just talking about that, I recently saw, like, I think it was on the History Channel on YouTube. I saw where Mark Sargent was on doing a test with them with exactly what you're saying. They took a boat out with the lines, and it was like pretty much a huge, I don't even know what they used for it. They went out so far where those lines were disappearing.
Yeah, so the red and the white lines, it looked like an American flag, and it was the History Channel, and you had that blonde woman and the other guy, and they set it up, and they looked, and the bottoms disappeared, and they go, that's due to curvature, right? That's what they said.
Yep.
But in that shot, go back and watch it again.
Okay.
Freeze frame it when she shows it with the bottom two stripes missing. You can see the surface of the water far beyond the boat. So what is it? Curve and then come back up again?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
So it was a rough day. When you have a wave that's this big, that's a 1 foot high wave.
Yeah.
Okay. And you put that in front of a giant building, you're not going to do anything. Move that building 10 miles away. Okay. That building's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and the wave's going to cover half or all of the building.
Okay, I see.
So the wave hasn't reduced. So it's the angular resolution limits of our eyes, the perspective, the density of the air above the water. There's a whole bunch of things that cause things to disappear from the bottom up.
And could that be like a mirage effect, kind of?
Well, that's a whole bunch of things. So look, there's no boat here. There's no boat here. There's no boat here. Oh, wait a minute. What's that little white dot? That's a boat. Now, I'm going to zoom all the way in. You're going to see the boat. And as I zoom out, it's the same thing as the boat just going away. And watch the boat disappear from the bottom up. And it's disappearing from the bottom up due to the bottom having the lowest angular size and the waves in the foreground creating what I call the wave front edge. There's videos that explain that in depth on the app about what about boats over the horizon, and it's gone. And now a glober would say that has disappeared over the horizon. But if it went over the horizon, a physical horizon, could I zoom in on it?
Right. You wouldn't be able to zoom in on it.
Absolutely. Right. So it's an optical thing. And the Globers have, even in these flat earth debate shows, have admitted, it's an optical horizon. The physical horizon is hidden behind an optical horizon. How lame is that? I mean, I wish I was a Glober, because it's so fun. You could just make up anything. You could just say anything. It's complete and total nonsense. Other times when you're going, here's a boat, and as it's going farther and farther away, it starts mirroring, right? Their mirror line is right here. And so you're seeing the same thing twice. And as it goes away, it'll mirror more and more. Things disappear behind that mirrored edge.
Okay.
And that's how things, the optics across the water, the optics of our sky do lots of amazing things. And then the way our brains interpret them is a whole nother thing, right? You can take a glober and a flat earther. If you got them, let's say we can get up to 300,000 feet. I don't think anyone can even get that high. I don't even know if that height exists.
Yeah.
And you look down, the glober is going to see a ball because he's going to see a circle, and his brain's going to go, oh, that's a ball. And the flat earther is going to go, nope, it's a pond. I see it. It's flat water, and it's a circle. Right? We see the same distance in all directions if the conditions are the same.
Yeah.
That creates a circle, right? If I see 100 feet that way, 100 feet that way, 100 feet that way, 100 feet that way, draw a line, that's a circle. And we see in a circle. So, and then our brain, our programming tells us that is a sphere. Like this guy, this is the limit of his vision in all directions. It's the same. And if you draw a line across it, a straight line, which is in the air, look, curvature, that's a sphere. No, it's just a flat circle. It's the limit of their vision. Right?
Okay.
And that's why you think you see curvature.
Yeah, because when I was little, I'd go to the beach and you could look at the water and you could say you could see the curve of the earth, the roundness of the earth. But that's the limit of the vision that you have.
It's just the limit of your vision. And, sometimes there's clouds, the air's thicker on one side, so the horizon looks like it's lower. Like when you're in an airplane, they say the horizon always rises to your eye level. Well, sometimes you're looking so far that it turns into, it just turns into sky. When you're looking into the distance, there could be something there and you just can't see it because the air is so thick, it just looks like empty sky, but there's really something there. Like here's some mountains. Oops. Oh, I just friggin' threw up a mountain. Sometimes I click and I hit the X and now
I hate that.
And now I gotta go find it. I gotta find it right now though. So what was I saying? When you look into the distance, let me show you. I'll put up something while I pull up the pictures. I need to show you this. So
okay,
this is Mount Canigou. This is a mountain that's this is Aluja, France, looking out over the ocean, and in the distance is Mount Canigou. It's 175 miles away.
Yeah,
and you can't see it because the light bouncing off of it just can't push back to your eyes, but the globe answer is, well, no, at that distance, the top of Mount Canigou should be a mile below the curvature, a mile. Well, 2 times a year when the sun passes through, passes in line, it backlights Mount Canigou. So the sun's power is brighter. It's the brightest light. And all of a sudden you can see Mount Canigou. Here it is. The top of this mountain should be a mile below the curve. The Glober argument to this is, that's a mirage. The mountain's way over the curvature. The sun is already set. It's all refracting up and magically stopping at your eye level.
And how many miles is that?
175 miles.
Oh yeah, it would definitely be underneath if it was curved, I would say. I mean, that's far.
Yeah. So here I think this was the picture I was trying to pull up. There's mountains that get lighter and lighter and lighter. That actually wasn't the picture I was trying to pull up. But as you go into the distance, the mountains get lighter and lighter. And then it just becomes sky and you really can't see them anymore. So that's fascinating.
I didn't even see it that way.
Yeah. So you don't understand, like just to show you couldn't see Mount Canigou.
Yeah.
Because the air when the air is opaque, it's sky.
Yeah. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
I never even thought of it that way.
People, so we're not taught to think. In school, it's memorize and regurgitate, memorize and regurgitate. Oh, you get an A. You did a good job. You memorized and regurgitate exactly what we wanted you to believe. Now that you believe it, there you go. Here's another example. See, they get dark, lighter and lighter and lighter. There's probably another mountain.
That's probably the best example right there.
Yeah,
you can't see it.
Right.
And I think in the past podcast that I've listened to, you said that you talked to someone in the World Fair about they used to teach that the Earth was flat, right?
Yeah. So Ruth, a 102-year-old woman, I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs, and she had such a great memory. This was in February of 2020. She had such a great memory about her 5th birthday. I asked her what they taught her in school, and she said, they taught me the Earth is flat. And we found other people and other countries that were taught flat Earth up and through the 1930s. So this whole flat Earth thing is not new, not old, not 2,000 years old. The Greeks figured it out 2,000 years ago. Nonsense. That's not true. It's only been less than 100 years, and far less in some areas of the world. Then they introduced world wars and depression and all sorts of stuff, and just basically reset everyone's memory. They reset the way people think.
And did you think it just had to do all with money just for NASA?
It has nothing to do with money. Well, it has nothing. They don't need the money. Money is not real, and they just control us with it. Money is absolutely 100% worthless. The only thing money is good for is lighting a fire. I don't know, paper money. but people believe that it's worth something, so they're willing to trade it. They're willing to trade it, and so that it has an imaginary value. They don't really give NASA $65 million a day. They take $65 million a day away from us, and we just agree. Oh, I found the picture. This was the picture I was looking for.
The mountain.
Yeah, the mountain.
There you go.
Lighter, dark. And then there's more mountains out here. You just can't see them, so it becomes sky. Yeah. That's how it works.
Wow. Yeah, I never even ever thought of it to look like that. I mean, to think that way on how it's getting lighter and lighter in each picture you see. I mean, just coming across it day to day.
Yeah. And also everything gets compressed into the horizon. If you look up here, let's go over perspective. So, at the lights look like they're going down, down, down. If I was underneath the lights, they'd be high, and then they'd go down even steeper, but I'm off to the side. So you look up and you see a cloud. It's over your head. It's high in the sky. When all the clouds are sitting on a nice cloud deck, they're all sitting there at the same level.
Yeah.
So just 20 to 30 miles away, they'll touch the water. They'll literally merge with the water from your point of view, because perspective just brings them together. So this cloud over here, this far cloud right there, merges in with the horizon. Okay. So if this viewer is looking at that cloud and he drew a pole, like an actual string, a line, a pole from his eyes to that cloud, he would look at that pole and it would be going parallel over the water, right?
Yeah.
That's how he would see it. But
Makes
imagine
sense.
if you, right? So he sees the going parallel over the water, going right to that cloud. That's how his vision works. For his reality, that cloud is level with his eyes. But if you were standing underneath that cloud, this is you underneath the cloud, and you could see the line that he drew from his eyes, you would see a line sloping down from 10,000 feet.
It definitely makes sense right there. Yeah.
Okay. So now remember, he sees this cloud at the horizon. So that cloud is become the horizon for him. So we're going to extend that line. And as the sun travels over the earth without going down, it's just going away. It's going to go. And when it passes that line, it will look like it's disappearing behind it. It'll set behind it. And remember, he sees this line on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll show you his point of view, what he sees. So this is what really happens. But what he sees is this. Remember, there's the line, there's the cloud, and he's going to see the sun go down. The sun is just going away, and then it disappears, and you go, oh, no, it's going over the curve of the earth. That's nonsense. Nonsense. Right? So that's an animation. Let's put it into real world, real life. Okay? So I made a model. Now that I added more features, everything moves, of course. And it's called my Flat Earth Kitchen. Okay, where I created a model of the flat earth because my kitchen counter is flat, testably, measurably, provably flat. And where the heck did it go? Here it is. So here's a line. It's level. We're viewing it from a celestial point of view, from up where the sun is. And I'm moving the sun along the line. Now here's a cloud deck, mountains, whatever it is. I'm just showing you it's something opaque, and the sun never goes below it. It's just going across following this line. Yeah. Now I have a camera at the other end of the counter, on the counter, a terrestrial point of view, watching this thing move away. And if I showed you it first, which I'm going to show you right now, I'd say, is this line level or is it angled downwards?
Looks angled downwards.
It looks angled downwards. Here's that opaque cloud deck, atmospheric deck, whatever. It looks like it's at my eye level. and
it looks like it's setting. Yeah.
Wow. But it's still above it. So, and now look at this line. It looks like it's almost going straight down.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a level line, but you wouldn't believe that unless I showed you ahead of time. Now let's compare it to a real sunset. Here it is. Here's a real sunset. Now look, that's not the horizon. There's the atmospheric deck of opacity. Okay. You can't see it. And then it goes, now looking at this without zooming in, you don't see that space. You don't see this space. And it literally looks like it's going behind the horizon of the earth. You believe it's going behind a ball because you've been programmed your entire life to see that.
To believe it that way. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have explained it any better with that right there.
Thanks. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here because the sun is close. What else? Where do you want to go?
Let's talk about the firmament for a second.
Yeah.
The dome.
Oh, I've always wanted to know about this.
So do you think the dome is you think it's a solid object, or you think it's atmospheric, or what do you think the dome is?
I don't know, man. You been there?
Nope.
If I had to take a guess, I would say it's some sort of frozen ice, glass, oxygen. Couldn't tell you. I think there's different densities and then it becomes solid. You've seen the Go Fast rocket hit it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. There's a lot of controversy on that, and everyone will argue until the end of time on that one. But I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of flat earthers will say there has to be a dome because you can't have high pressure next to no pressure. Well, we don't believe that space is a vacuum, so do you need a dome? If you look at a pot of water that you're boiling, you have a bubble on the bottom of the pot. You got this bubble. Imagine you were the little tiny guy standing inside that bubble. You're on a flat surface. There's a dome above you. There's water above that. You're being held in with pressure, but there's really no physical dome, right? It's just water.
Yeah. Right.
How's that happen?
I mean,
and think about this. Think about this, right? This one blows people away. When does it rain other than sprinkles versus a rainstorm? When does a rainstorm happen? When we have what kind of barometric pressure? Low pressure.
Yeah.
When a hurricane, you ever been in a hurricane?
Many times.
Yeah. So you've seen rivers of water coming out of the sky. Like, how did all that water float in the sky? Because, airplanes can fly through these clouds. How did all this water stay in the sky? Where's it coming from? Maybe it's there's something multidimensional about it, but low pressure lets the waters from above in. And you have a hurricane, you have a super low pressure. That's when all the water comes in.
All the water comes in. Okay.
Water's above, water's below. Gaddafi found water below us. Did you guys see my video on Muammar Gaddafi?
I have not.
Go to search the Great Man-Made River, DITRH. That's my channel, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH. And it's a short video, and it's about how Muammar Gaddafi was drilling for oil, and he found an ocean of pristine water below the desert. An ocean, not a reservoir, an ocean, and a fresh water. And so he started what's called the Great Man-Made River. 40 years. It was the largest aquifer project in known history. Yeah. And he was pumping water all across Africa, giving families organic farms, access to water, tractors, seeds, cattle, everything they needed. He was going to feed all of Africa. And when he finished it in 40 years, the Hillary Clinton and the United Nations and Obama went in and blew it up with depleted uranium.
No way.
Biggest crime in humanity.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to have to look that up. And that's actually on your podcast, you said?
On my YouTube channel, DITRH, the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Okay. And if you could find my playlist, I got a couple Qaddafi videos. He was one of the most loved, amazing leaders of all time. And we were taught that he was a demon.
I've never even heard of him.
Right.
Yeah. He's the head of Libya.
Yep.
And then they killed him. Well, and there's controversy on that. Did they really kill him? Some people say he was part of the cabal.
Oh, no.
Whatever. What he did for Libya, he took it from the lowest, poorest, most uneducated country to the highest in all of Africa.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I definitely have to look into that.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about the Coriolis effect. Is there anything could you educate us on that?
Cool story, bro. Doesn't exist. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. The Neil deGrasse Tyson said, the guy that kicked the football, the Coriolis saved him, when it bounced off the post. That was nonsense, right? How come planes don't have to go by Coriolis? Only a sniper has to go by Coriolis. That's fake. That's a number one argument by the trolls. There's only one video of one sniper who's just nonsense. We've talked to snipers. We've talked to the guys that train snipers. They're like, never. We take everything into effect. They say humidity, wind, distance, drop. Yeah. The drop of the bullet, because the bullet going forward is going to drop. The air pressure. Maybe even where the sun is, whatever, but they don't pay attention to the spin of the earth.
Yeah.
You believe, right? You believe that you're on, if you believe in the heliocentric model, that you're on the ball Earth spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. At 1,000 miles an hour, that's faster than the speed of sound. You're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour. Let me show you what that is. Yeah. This is the hypersonic sled. Watch. It's going to come by at Mach 8.6. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
Wow.
Okay, watch it again. And if you hear there's a video on my channel, I think, that I have this with the sound, because the sound is awesome. What? Mach 8.6.
Wow.
Okay. We're orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that.
Oh my God.
Okay. And we're chasing the sun at 90 times faster than that. In elliptical orbit, speeding up and slowing down, turning and spinning, forces going in all different directions. But we have lakes that look like this.
Glass. It seems like it's impossible at that point.
It's retarded. I'm bringing the word back. It's a great word. It's retarded. Okay.
Love that word.
It's absolutely retarded. Yes. Thank you. So it's ridiculous. No one's going to win their 100 Bitcoins because nothing is more retarded than the helio nonsensical bullshit model.
What would it take? What would someone have to show you in order for you to say, okay, I believe you? What do you think is
one proof of the globe? Just one.
I think
show me actual curvature. Show me a real photo of the Earth from space. Show me. Have them do a live feed from the space station. Right? It's so easy. People are like, well, the space station, there's a 24-hour feed. Go watch it. It's the same 17 minutes that's been playing for 20 years. Okay. Right. And I had a Globe around. I said, what about this? I go, how come there's no land? What would you guys say? Obviously it's a space station. They always get some, in something in there.
Yep. It definitely looks like it's just orbiting.
You would say it'd be over the ocean?
Yeah, and you can kind of see the curvature, right? You see the curvature a little bit? Actually, it's in our front yard. We just used a solar panel and turned it upside down. That's how easy our minds are affected. How easy. So I'm going to show you an optical illusion. It's just the way your brain interprets stuff. And no matter how long you look at it, you're not going to be able to fix it. Ready?
Yeah.
Are these tables the same size and dimension?
They do not. They don't look like it. No,
they don't appear to be. No.
They're the exact same size and dimension.
Oh wow!
Try to render that. Try to get your brain to fix it. You can't.
Yeah, at all.
No, you can't. Wow.
Right. So,
no way.
Yeah. So when people say, oh, I looked at the moon and the moon, it's a sphere. So the Earth is a sphere. Well, look at the lights in your ceiling. Is that a sphere? Which one of these is a sphere? That one's not. How about this one? Is this one a sphere?
They all look like it.
They all look like it.
No, that's flat. Okay. It's flat. Is it flat or is it a sphere?
I would say sphere.
It's a flat.
No way.
Okay. So what I'm showing you, how about this one? Is this a sphere or is it flat?
I would say flat, but it's
not. It's a cup. All right. So what I'm saying is, no matter you can't touch it or measure it, you've got nothing. You've got nothing. Okay. NASA shows us, these pictures of Earth. People say they can't fake all the pictures of Earth. There's real pictures of Earth. No, there's not. And NASA actually admits it. Their guy that made the blue marble. He admits they made it in Photoshop, but then a couple of years later, they come out with this photo. What's wrong? But someone will say, well, they're closer and you're not really seeing the edges because you have a wider angle. That's nonsense. But if you look at it, we can actually measure this and something that we can verify, which is if I can find my images now that everything moved because I added those pictures. You had one picture and then everything rearranges. Remember the game where you had the concentration where you flip over the card and it's like if it didn't match you turn it over and you have to measure where it is. Thank God I played that a lot because that's how this thing
how it's going right now.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Zoom should make it so you can order these. All right, here we go. If this is a photo, you can verify going across Mexico and Baja is 934 miles. Scientifically testable, provable, not a theory. That's the distance. So the diameter, according to NASA, a straight line through the Earth is 7,917 miles. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I should be able to fit 8.5 of these in between these two red lines. And I can't even fit them on the page here. All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that is a crappy painting. Okay. It's a painting.
They made the US look a lot bigger.
It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. And if you compare photos from years apart, they use the same clouds. Okay. 1978. And then in 2017, they showed us all global warming and pollution. Look what it's done to the Earth. It's horrible. Look at the clouds.
The hook is the same.
Oh yeah,
the same friggin' clouds. Okay.
Yeah.
It definitely is the same.
Once a liar, always a liar. Or it's it. We didn't go to the moon. None of it's real. Nobody's been into space. Nobody's been up on a rocket. Period.
I got to say the moon landing, those pictures, I mean, that looks like it was built, like you said, out of cardboard. I mean, it looks so cheaply put together.
Buzz Aldrin the other day, moving the Globe Post again, was on Conan O'Brien, and Conan goes, when I was a kid, I watched you take the first steps on the moon. And he goes, no, you didn't. He goes, no, I did. I saw it on TV. He goes, nope, we didn't have television cameras. You were watching an animation. This is what he said just the other day.
No way.
You were watching an animation, he said.
I'm going to have to look that up. It's on Conan.
You want me to pull it? I'll pull it up for you. How's that? And we can play it right here.
I'd actually like to see that. I mean,
I will show it.
An animation.
But again, he said an animation. All right. So let me open this, and if I pause that,
and I saw the one picture on your app that none of them look, like you said, happy in that picture, and none of them look like they just walked on the moon.
Yeah, and then the Globers will go, you don't know how they feel. They're shy. They're this. They're that. It's the dumbest thing ever. All right, so share with sound. You ready? It's a short video.
Yeah.
All right, you can see that.
Oh yeah.
Listen. Oops. And play. You hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yep.
This is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
Kind of sounds angry while he's explaining
a
it.
few other things, and then Neil said,
forced to lie.
Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed.
Man,
how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. You watched animation.
Wow.
You watched animation. You watched animation.
So all those videos were nothing but animation. Nothing was real.
Well, I don't know if it was animation. They want you to argue. Now the argument is, was it animation? Was it filmed somewhere else? Some of it's animation. I mean, look at the first spacewalk with, I don't know, who was it? Yuri Geller? I get my names mixed up. But he's out there and he does this wave. He's hanging from a strap and he turns his head and the whole helmet turns. Well, those heads turned in the helmet. The helmets were fixed to the thing.
Right.
It was a claymation. It was literally a claymation animation.
And you have these videos on the app?
Most of them are, just look up under the frequently asked questions and go to it's NASA fakery.
Okay.
There's a long list of videos there, and we just keep adding and putting more in there. And as YouTube deletes them, we re-upload them. And
definitely keep an eye out for those.
Yeah. So how about this? Next time you're on an airplane, if you ever go on an airplane again with the nonsense that's going on in the world, look out the left window, look out the right window, and you'll see, if it's clear, you'll see that the horizon is right there at eye level. Draw an imaginary line, and it goes right through your eyes. It's at your eye level. Yeah. But according to Globe Math, the horizon should be 78,000 feet below you. 78,000 feet below you. but you can draw a straight line. It goes right through your eyes. Okay, game over. Earth is flat. It does not spin. We're not moving. The globe is retarded. And anyone that believes it is willfully ignorant after hearing this podcast, if they still believe it.
I'll actually test that out because we're going to DC. So test it out next month.
Absolutely. And we have guys on airplanes now that are taking infrared cameras, and they can see impossible distances. Well, we're up high. Do the globe math. The horizon's supposed to be, 200, 400, 500 miles away, 300 miles away, whatever it is. And we're seeing things 1,200 miles away. We're seeing things that should be under like 80 miles of curvature. Okay. We're seeing stuff that is ridiculously far. And also, when you're flying in an airplane, a gyroscope holds rigidity in space. That's how an airplane knows if it's level. The airplane's going, and if it turns, the gyroscope stays.
Yeah.
And that's how it knows what level is. Well, after an hour, they should be 30 miles higher unless they nose down and go around. 1 hour, 30 miles higher. Okay. 30. Yeah. You only fly 5 miles in the air. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's nonsense. Everything's nonsense. It's all nonsense. All these guys got together just before the moon landings in Hollywood. All right. Does that make any sense?
Oh,
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
No way.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Just a coincidence. They were just doing some backup filming just so, so the American people could see.
I've heard that NASA is Disney.
NASA is Disney. I think I said that.
Yeah, I think that's where I heard it.
Yeah, NASA and Disney are one and the same. And, Disney had astronauts on. Before you can talk, your parents probably put a mobile over your head of the solar system and gave you NASA sheets, and you parked in front of Sesame Street and Walt Disney, and it's all globe programming. Then you go to school, you're excited, going to kindergarten. What's in the front of your classroom? A globe. What's the first worksheet you bring home? It's the planetary orbits,
Yeah.
Okay, the sun and the moon, which goes around which. I remember that sheet. They're still giving it to kids. It's globe programming, because once you have the foundation of your world and build everything around it, most people are too lazy or unwilling to realize that their entire life has been a lie. So why the lie? Why all of this? And the answer is literally to hide who you are, to hide where you are, to hide the true power that you have, to make you believe that there's shortages and that you have to worry. And that you need government to take care of you, when the truth is we're at the center of creation and we're powerful beings that no one has dominion over us. When you become a flat earther, it's amazing. You wake up to all of these other things, including, what government is. Control meant is your mind.
Yeah.
They're literally controlling your mind. They put you in a prison that you don't see the walls, because you're on a ball. You think, if I just went here, I'd end up over here, but that's not the case at all. If you went from Santiago, which is right here, you went this way, you're going to end out here somewhere. What's out here? What worlds are out here? What extra territory is out here? Okay. Extra terra.
Yeah.
Not aliens, extraterrestrials. And if this is the inner space, where are they coming from if they come visit? Outer space.
Yep.
Across the Earth plane. Why are all of the biggest telescopes first owned by the Vatican? Look into that. But why are they all in the outer southern lands and they're looking south, which is out? South is every direction out. Why are they looking out? What are they looking at? Why aren't they looking up? Okay. Here's a map from Japan. What are all of these other continents?
Yeah. That's in the middle of Japan.
No, this is from Japan. This is the United States. Here's South America, United States.
Europe, I see what you're saying.
This is us. This is Antarctica, the land that we call Antarctica. Antarctica is the puddle that is the edge of the puddle that we live in. So we're not a disk floating in space. We are in what I call the Antarctic Basin. Antarctic Basin. What is that? Here we are. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It's the shoreline that surrounds our world, the container for our pond. If you had a pond and you dug a hole in the bank somewhere to lower land, all the water is going to run out. So Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Here we live. All of the land, is surrounded by. We're surrounded by Antarctica.
And do you think, like, if realistically, if any of, like, let's just say the flat earthers decided to go there, not discriminate or anything, but Do you actually think you would be stopped by government officials?
We don't think it. We know it because it's been done. People have gone there. People have gotten permission to go there, and they've been stopped at force, threatened to be sunk, turned around, sent home, and put in jail.
And they only allow you to go to like the random spots on cruises. Let's just say it's very controlled, you would say.
So it costs you $10,000, $30,000, $40,000 to go for a couple of days. It's they make it such a long journey. You end up here on this little peninsula, which is bigger than some countries, and they show you some penguins, they show you some ice. Maybe they'll bring you over here and show you the ceremonial South Pole. They'll even tell you it's the ceremonial South Pole because there is no South Pole. Yeah. And then they kick you out. No, and most of the time you'll be kept on the boat. You're not allowed to independently explore Antarctica. No one's allowed to go out here. This white area here is probably 1,000 miles, right? Okay. Yeah. So what's out here? There's, Admiral Byrd went out there. He said he found land bigger than the United States, filled with resources, and no human has ever set eyes upon it. But somehow we just make this treaty. No one can go there. It's the longest treaty ever standing. You can't even question it until the year 2041. But go ahead, deforest the Amazon, but we have to protect the penguins and the ice. It's the last pristine spot.
You think they do it to protect the resources or something?
No, they're doing it to stop you from realizing you don't live on a ball. There's more out there. There's more. There's people, I believe that there's other worlds out beyond Antarctica, right here on Earth. They don't want us knowing that. We're in a prison run by a bunch of psychopaths.
I can agree with that, definitely.
So here's how you prove the Earth is flat and end this right away. They're talking in Congress how to stop disinformation. These flat earthers are going to ruin the next generation. It's they've put so much money and time and effort into trying to stop us. Here's how you stop us. One day, 2 airplanes, you all meet in Santiago, you fly over to Antarctica, you go to the base here, the land, they refuel, you get a bunch of scientists, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you guys, me, flat earthers, ball earthers, everyone. You get on these 2 airplanes, and one of them flies 1,000 feet in the air just off the shore and follows the shoreline, just follows it. And we watch it. You can verify your speed because you can see the land. You're like, all right, this isn't a super fast plane. It's normal speed, 550 miles an hour. 6 hours later, because it's like 13,000 miles around, 6,000, 6,500 miles later, both planes would meet here. One goes this way, one goes this way, and they would meet right here. Boom. End of story. Can't do that on a flat Earth. Problem is, they'll never do it because it's much bigger than that. The last person to try it on a boat was Captain Cook. It took him 3.5 years. He went 60 to 70,000 miles.
Jeez.
Wow.
Okay. 60 to 70,000 miles.
It's what is it, 10 times more? I mean, what is it?
Yeah,
it's 7,000 miles all the way around. Or what is it? How many miles around is?
So 13,000 miles.
13,
so it's
5,
6 times more. Okay.
That's insane.
The equator, which is right here, is 24,000 miles around. Right. If the Earth was a ball, it would be smaller. 12,000 miles. They tell us it's 12,000 miles around. But it's 60 to 70,000 miles. It's all right there. Let's do we'll talk about the plane routes, right? Buenos Aires to Perth. FlightAware says this is the fastest trip, but we can't disturb the penguins. Don't fly over. Don't fly over there. We disturb the penguins. All right, so you just fly around, right? That would be the shortest trip, or maybe you go this way. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be the shortest trip, but nope, that's not how they go. They go from Buenos Aires. You go all the way over. They stop in Miami or Houston. Then they stop again in LA. Then they stop in Sydney, and then they fly over. It takes like 26 hours. Jeez. Right? Or they go from here over to Europe, Singapore, Perth. Okay. Why didn't they just cut across and magically pop over here? Because it's not magic, right? You can't do it. It's how the world works.
And would they use the excuses of just in case it's like for emergency landings?
There's a book called 16 Emergency Landings. So NASA's in charge of radar. NASA's in charge of airplane routes and GPS. So they're the controllers of the deception. Mm-hmm. So, many pilots know. Some pilots don't know because they're just glorified bus drivers that could go, take off and land the plane and let the plane fly itself. They don't know where they're going. Oh, and I think I heard you guys say, was it you guys talking about you leave California, you head west, and then you end up back in California? Was it you guys?
No.
All right, good. Oh, it's another show. Sorry, okay. So many shows. So when there's an emergency, they got to land fast. So that causes a problem for them because they're not where they say they are, especially on these long flights from southern locations. So one of my favorites is from Taiwan to LA. The plane was going, here's Hawaii, right here there's an emergency. You land in Hawaii, or maybe go all the way if somehow reason Hawaii couldn't accept you. All right. But instead they went 1,000, 2,000 miles out of the way, a couple thousand miles out of the way to Alaska. But chart this, draw a straight line from Taiwan to LA on a flat earth map. Here you go. Taiwan, emergency, Alaska. Hawaii is all the way out here. Okay. There's 16 documented ones. Actually, there's 17 now because there's a new one that happened, and it's actually coming out on the app either tomorrow or the following day under the featured videos. There was one of the crew members who, got the pokey poke, had some heart condition, and they had to land, and they landed in an airport that makes no sense on a map. But if you draw a line from the departing airport to the receiving airport, it's right on that line. How many times does this have to happen for people to realize the earth is flat? They're lying about everything. And, and we need to wake up.
I could definitely see that now. And more people. And I've heard there's I think 7 or 8 cases, isn't it, of people that getting the vaccine and dying on airplanes.
Hey, we love Dr. Fauci. That is false information.
Okay.
Stop that. The vaccine is the best thing that's ever happened to anyone on earth. And don't say anything that would, I'm going to go in line and get mine very, very soon.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I think we can wrap it up at this hour right now. I know you're really busy. You probably have some people ahead of us. So I definitely appreciate your time. And thank you for
and you guys have my app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
We do, yes.
Learn how, just use it, understand how the seasons work, use the jump button. You're going to be able to find flat earthers near you soon. Next week, I hope to have a new update out, which you'll be able to turn it on and say, hey, look, there's other flat earthers near me. And you can message them and say, hey, meet at the local pub and we can talk flat earth.
It's definitely, I'm getting more and more interested
because you're going to need that. Let me tell you why you're going to need to meet other flat earthers, because we're having a conference. Where are you guys located?
South Florida. Florida.
Well, if you go on a road trip, South Carolina, October, Flattoberfest. It's under flatearthfestivals.com, 2-day festival. It's going to be amazing. There'll be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flat earthers there. And everyone that you meet will instantly become a lifelong friend. They're all awesome people. And you're going to need that, because you're going to lose some of your friends and maybe some family members, because they're not all going to wake up like you guys are, right?
Exactly.
So listen, you're going to trade in some friends that, maybe they're not so smart, all right? And you're going to get some smarter friends, okay?
Yeah.
So that's important feature, because, if I said, hey, give me $5 and you gave me $5, but you can get 10 more, hey, that's all right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to lose a couple friends, but you're going to gain some new ones. So, yeah,
I'll
just
definitely
make sure
keep
that
looking into
the door
it.
swings both ways.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely keep looking into it and see what we can find. So.
And just know, for anyone listening, on Android, there's already a Flat Earth Society knockoff one. It's by the Ron Media Group. It's horrible. Don't send me emails telling me my app sucks, because it's not my app. My app is the highest rated app in the App Store. It's by Blue Water Bay. Don't forget that. This is the icon. If you're looking at a computer, just point your camera right there. Or just go to theflatearthpodcast.com, and links are right there. And check it out. Just read the reviews if you're unsure, because the reviews will turn you into a bladder.
All righty. I appreciate your time, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to have an interview with you. So,
all right, man. Thanks.